Welcome to the Tea of Life podcast, where our mission is to transform every area of life by encouraging and equipping you to live the life you love and love the life you live. I am your host, Tiffany Thompson. I am so happy that you decided to join me today. My last episode, I mentioned some of the circumstances that I hear about and talk with people about on almost a daily basis. Unfortunately, these have become common circumstances, and finding yourself in the midst of any of them could possibly be holding you back from living your best life, holding you back from loving your life, normal, everyday struggles. If you missed it, please go back and listen to it. I also mentioned that there are 5 components to goal making. When you go through these 5 steps of goal making, you are actually more likely to hit that goal. You may wonder, what does creating the life that I love to live have anything to do with goals? Well, I'll tell you, it has everything to do with it. If you don't make a plan and just allow things to happen to you, then things are just going to happen to you. However, it won't be the things that you want to happen. Zig Ziglar said, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. If you decide that you are ready to create the life that you want to live, but you don't take the active steps toward creating that life for yourself, because like I said last week, it is up to you, you will not achieve it. You will not accomplish your goal if you are not aiming for it. Today, we're going to go through and talk about the 5 components to setting and accomplishing your goal of creating the life that you love to live. So let's quickly remember what these 5 components of goal setting are. Your goal must be 1, specific, simple, significant. 2, measurable, meaningful, motivating. 3, it must be achievable, attainable, announced, authored by you. Number 4, it must be relevant and reasonable. It must be time-bound or time-sensitive. Now, these are known as SMART goals, S-M-A-R-T. And if you wrote these down, you can go back and see the beginning of each letter spelling out SMART. If other people want you to change, but you don't, then you will not change. I don't have a goal for you to love your life. I have a desire for you to love your life. You need to have that goal for yourself. I cannot form that goal for you. I can only give you a nudge in the right direction through encouragement and presenting some of the tools that you can use to achieve your goals. If you have a goal this year to change your attitude, situation, or just become a better person, you are the only person who can achieve that goal. For some, you already have a really good life circumstance, a really good job, family life, or whatever, but you have a really bad attitude about it. Some of you may need to make some changes to the life that you're currently living, while others of you may just need to change your attitude about the life that you're already living. Just changing your attitude can change your life. Just like Major Payne said, you have a little attitudinal problem needing some readjustment. What you need is a little attitudinal adjustment. Some of you just need a little nudge to get your heinies off the couch. It's not up to your spouse, your son, daughter, cousin, friend, neighbor, or dog to pick you up off that couch and push or shove you towards your goal. It's up to you. For some of you, you don't need to shove out the door. You need to stay right where you are and start creating the life that you love to live right where you are, maybe inside your own home. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed and depressed at home, maybe your home is what needs to change. There was one point in my life where I was feeling overwhelmed with stuff, lots and lots of stuff. The more stuff I had, the better. You've heard of retail therapy, right? Well, this was definitely me, and I can definitely say that I came by it honestly. I mean, my mom would literally check me out of high school just to go to the mall for that retail fix that so many of you are familiar with. Come on, be honest with yourself. I almost failed my last year of high school because I missed so many days in my afternoon classes just to go buy stuff. So what I saw was basically a he who has the most stuff wins mentality, and the more stuff you have, the better. And because I believed this, and as a gift to myself on my 18th birthday, I opened up a credit card on a retail store called Learner, which I think later became The Limited and is now New York and Company. Yes, I apparently could not wait to start accumulating debt, all in the name of stuff. And I think I literally thought that that was my rite of passage for turning 18. So it took me until my late 30s to realize that all this stuff was and still is a huge stress factor for me. I always felt stressed and overwhelmed as a kid and teen, and although there were a lot of other factors involved, I finally identified in my late 30s that a lot of the problem was just stuff. And I realize that I'm getting a little bit off topic here at this moment, but I'm seriously passionate about stuff. This time, I'm passionate about the lack of stuff. And I can't wait to share my story with you about how I came to realize that I had a stuff problem and what I did about it. So, okay, back to goal making. Let's talk about the 5 goal components. So number 1, I said, is specific, simple, and significant. The first component of a goal is that your goal must be specific. It must be stated clearly, and it must be well defined. It needs to be so clear and specific that you cannot confuse its meaning. In my opinion, this first step may be the most important step in goal making for yourself. A good way to measure if it's clear enough is to go down the list of interrogative words that you learned in grammar school. Remember those, the who, what, when, where, how, and why? Well, we're going to go through those words, and that may help you identify if it's specific, simple, or significant enough. So we're going to start with who. Who is your goal for? Who will it benefit? Who will help me achieve this goal, and who will be involved? What? What do I need to accomplish with my goal? What methods? What boundaries or systems do I need to put in place in order to accomplish my goal? Or here's a good question. What would happen if I did not accomplish my goal? When do I plan on starting my goal? Make sure you ask the question with when do I plan to start and not when do I want to start or when do I hope to start. By planning it, we are more likely to actually start it or do it rather than just planning on starting it or doing it. Also, when do I hope to finish my goal? Where can my goal be accomplished? Where is my goal located? Right where I live, or do I need to move at my current job, or will I need to find a new job? Also, needing to move or find a new job in order for you to accomplish your goal will set some new goals within that goal, which leads me to the next one. How will I accomplish this goal? How will I achieve every step of my goal? How much will my goal cost me? How realistic is this goal? How relevant is my goal? And then the last one, why do I want to accomplish this particular goal? So on to number 2, your goal must be measurable, meaningful, and motivating. You must commit to your goal. Your goal must be so meaningful that you are so motivated to achieve it. This is where you need to get down and dirty with your emotions. You need to seek deep down into your inner self and find out what motivates you to achieve your goal. This does not include motivations from other people. Your mother telling you that you need to graduate college or call her more, or your best friend telling you that you need to lose weight. Maybe you do, but this needs to be your goal, not your friend's goal for you, or trying to keep up with your neighbor who just bought that new car and now you need one too. That should not be on the list. This is your goal, your list. You are changing your life, not someone else's, and other people cannot change it for you. In fact, we may find ourselves blaming other people for us not achieving our goals. In some cases, this may be true, but in most cases, it's just an excuse for us to not have to work for it. So number 3, your goal must be achievable, attainable, announced, and authored by you. Your goal needs to be written down. This allows us better chances of actually achieving our goal. People who write down their goals and describe them in detail are more likely to achieve their goal. The more detailed you are about your goal, the more likely you are to actually achieve it. Something happens in our brain when we write it down. As you write down your goal, you will see it begin to play out in your head as if it's already happening. This actually helps push you toward putting the steps into action and achieving that goal. Have you ever heard of or seen a vision board? I think that that applies here in the writing it down process. You're able to visualize your goal with the words that you use or even the pictures that you use. And you see that every day. So this also helps keep you motivated and on the right track, not to mention accountable to yourself. Every time you see that vision board, you will either be motivated out of obligation to yourself for achieving your goal or motivated out of inspiration from actually seeing what you can accomplish. You can even add pictures of what you think your life may look like after you achieve that goal. Make sure that your goal is realistic, achievable, attainable, and actually makes sense. If your goal is to live in Alaska, but you absolutely cannot stand the cold weather and prolonged lack of sunshine causes you to go absolutely psycho, I'm kind of speaking from personal feelings here. You may want to rethink that desired geographical location. I'm also just going to throw this in there. If your goal is just to be happy, you will never achieve that goal. You might want to rethink that goal and be more specific. We are human, and it's not possible to experience happiness all the time. What happens when we get frustrated or angry? We may suddenly think that we haven't achieved happiness, and that will be false. So our human bodies are made to experience countless emotions. So we cannot experience happiness or even a single emotion for that matter 100% of the time. If your goal is just to be happy, you may feel like you've not achieved that goal if you're suddenly sad or mad or angry. We were made to feel all of these emotions, not just one. And experiencing all of these different emotions are what actually gets you to the goal in the first place. If you don't feel at least a smidgen of discontentment, then you will never have a need to change your life and achieve that goal. These other feelings are what drives us there. They are what drives us to change. You need to figure out what gets you more toward that feeling of happiness. For example, and going back to my previous example, if you feel happiness when your house is clean, but sadness when it's not, figure out how to keep your house clean more often. Maybe you need to simplify your belongings, declutter, buy a broom. But don't think that this is a one-time deal. Your house will get dirty again. It may even possibly get cluttered again. You will experience those negative, unhappy feelings that a dirty, cluttered house brings you, but you eventually learn to recognize when those emotions are rising up, and you learn to just clean your house. So 4, your goal must be relevant and reasonable. Your goal must be relevant to you and your situation. It must be relevant to your life. It must be your goal. I cannot stress this enough. I feel that even if the other goals are not met, you must meet this goal. You are the only one who can set and achieve your goal. Your mom cannot set your goal for you, even though she will try. I'm a mom and I know firsthand. Your spouse cannot set your goal for you. It's up to you to take that walk or make the good food choices throughout the day when you're alone. Your spouse or significant other cannot eat right for you. They cannot put good things into their body and expect it to benefit you. The only benefit you may gain from that is the increased energy that your spouse will get from treating their own body well. And that can literally pull you off the couch to get you going because they are so motivated because they have so much energy. But they cannot take those steps for you. You have to do it. It is up to you. If your goal is to write or blog more, you cannot expect anyone else to write it for you. If you have a goal to pay off debt and become debt-free, you can't expect anyone else to close your credit card accounts. Cut up your credit cards and stop living on credit for you. If your goal is to work less and spend more time with your kids, no one else can do this for you. No one can live a more purposeful life for you. It's totally up to you. So the last one, your goal must be time-bound and time-sensitive. You've heard the phrase, slow and steady wins the race, right? Well, that may be good for building wealth, but maybe not for goal setting. In order to obtain your goal, you need to be able to get there the quickest way possible. However, this should not be considered a quick fix way of getting there. This is what Dave Ramsey calls gazelle intense. If your goal is to get out of debt, slow and steady may win the race eventually, but you're definitely going to get sidetracked and distracted along the way. You need to get laser focused, acquire a bit of tunnel vision, and get on fire and get there the quickest way possible. You can be 20 years old and plan to retire a millionaire when you're 60, and that's okay. That's more than okay. That's a slow and steady kind of goal. However, that cannot be your only goal. You have to make smaller, shorter term goals in order to get there. You cannot set that one goal to be a millionaire when you're 60 and expect that when you're 60, you suddenly wake up a retired millionaire when you have not set smaller, shorter term goals or time-sensitive, time-bound goals along the way. Set a goal, set a time limit, achieve that goal, set a bigger goal, set a time limit, achieve that goal, and so on. Then bam, you're there, having achieved 1 million smaller goals along the way. But don't stop. Set another goal and get to it. So that's all I have for you today, guys. And if you need help achieving your goals, creating the life that you love to live, and just learning how to become a better person along the way, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tune in to listen to my next episode where I will reintroduce my 8 simple steps to loving your life. If you like Tea of Life podcast and you've got 2 friends who want to create the life that they love to live, tell them about us. Find us on your favorite social media platform like Facebook or Instagram. Also, right now before you forget, go to Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts and search for Tea of Life podcast. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Thank you for listening to Tea of Life podcast. We will see you next Thursday.